Good afternoon. We are going to look at an upcoming group project assignment that we have going to be due here in April. This one is a little bit challenging because you guys are involved in an online course and we have to create some connections with our classmates, and maybe we have to be a little more creative than our typical face-to-face class where we meet at the library on campus. Instead, maybe you are meeting via Skype for Business or even phone calls or emails, but you have to find a way to communicate and connect with your classmates. The groups have been delineated to you and have been emailed out to you as well. I will include it in this email that I'm going to submit along with these instructions, kind of help you with the process. But each member within the group is responsible for equal contributions. It always helps, I think, anytime you work in a group to have someone take that lead role to make sure assignments are turned in and make sure that that's someone that is extremely responsible and will be sure to have the PowerPoint turned in before their presentation, etc. So I would definitely put someone in the lead role and also be understanding that not everyone has a very simple schedule, but some people are very complex, and that is why they're taking an online course. So if for some reason they can't be involved in maybe your group meetings, whether it's actual face-to-face group meeting or via Skype, but somehow you find a way to keep them in the loop and designate work for them to do outside of those meetings. There will be times allotted for each group to get into Adobe Connect and practice prior to your actual presentation, and this will help make sure that everything runs smoothly on your actual presentation at the end of April. As we begin looking at this assignment, I want you to look first at the Toolbox contract assignment. Here you will find the outline of what is expected from the group contract. And basically this assignment is just to get everyone acclimated to what we're going to be doing, meeting as a group, and then really designating work for each member of the group. Because you are putting together a PowerPoint to go along with your presentation, you want to make sure your members of the group are contributing. We will be using Wise Choice information from your textbook to do these presentations, and each of you have assigned page numbers from the on-course text that you will be utilizing, and you have to find a way to break that information down and to create a presentation that is 5 to 10 minutes long. As you look at what this assignment is teaching you, it's teaching you how to do long-term team projects. And don't be mistaken, I work in a athletic department, but I'm on teams or groups or doing group projects all the time for work. So this is an important skill to learn. Adobe Connect is going to be new for many of you, and this is another great skill to learn. As some of you go on into your bachelor's, and if you continue to take online courses, you might find yourself doing other presentations on Adobe Connect, and you'll have some good familiarity with that. So as you look for the instructions in the assignment, it says this assignment in conjunction with the Study Skills Toolbox presentation and reflection will give you the opportunity to learn how to effectively navigate that group dynamic and then professionally present on a research topic. And this is through, like I said, the wise choices in your on-course text that you're utilizing for your group presentation. I want you to give me something more than just what I can read in the textbook, and I don't want you to read to me when you're doing your presentation. I want it to be interesting and be intriguing and bring some value to that information. You're going to connect with your assigned group members to develop a group contract or for your study skills presentation. There's a template that we're going to take a peek at here in just a moment, and this is where you're going to plan your roles, take on your responsibilities, create some ground rules within your group, and then essentially, just like it says here, signing a mortgage or buying a car, you're going to sign that contract with your group members and submit it into the Dropbox. Only one member from the group needs to submit it to the Dropbox, so you can designate who that will be. I have it set up in groups so it will all fill into all of your Dropboxes. But just make sure that that person has indeed submitted it to the assignment box. This document needs to be detailed, and the key word is detailed. Don't be brief. Really explain and put some thought into the collaborative process that you guys are going to be utilizing to create your presentation. You can utilize the Academic Support Center as well. All right, so let's take a look at this contract. All right. Your group contract, you have your parties, so you're going to have them, and number one, you're going to have the student's name, their phone number, and email address. So we fill that all in. Then you are essentially going through each number, submitted assignment, goals of the group, and you need to have some great, well thought out goals as you're going through your goals. Who is going to be responsible for uploading the final version of the PowerPoint to the assignment folder? And I would say that person should also be the person responsible for uploading the contract to the assignment box as well. What are your meetings and communications going to be? How frequent? How are you guys going to meet? Because this is different. Be creative too. FaceTime, Facebook Messenger, email. Like I said, you have some interesting dynamics as far as your classmates. They're not maybe necessarily available at the same time. So you may have to be a little bit more creative, whether it's voice messaging or whatever, but make it work within your group and really try to collaborate. Allocation of work. So we're really going to break down who's doing what. And this great little chart here is an awesome way to break down the tasks and when you're going to do it. We do not have 15 weeks before this assignment is due, so you need to take a look at the timeline for this assignment. This is a general breakdown for all the courses for SLS. So we have a little bit shorter time window. I find that giving you 15 weeks means you're going to wait till week 10 to really get after it. So I shortened that window, hoping that you guys will be diligent and be on top of this assignment. Essentially, if you fill out that, and you can include it with your contract, that can help coordinate and allocate those duties. But I do want it explained in here too, as far as your allocation of those duties. Online courses, and if your description you should consider these details: how the presentation will be navigated, how will you hand off each section, because it's going to be different than just standing in front of a class. You are going to be presenting online. I won't even see you, so in some ways it's better. You don't have the nerves of standing in front of your classmates, but you still have to be organized and know how you're going to transition from one person to the next. And then dispute problematic behavior. Anytime you work in a group, it's challenging. You'll have that one student that takes on a lot of the obligations and the work, and then you'll have that other student that just doesn't contribute much. So one, make sure you're a contributing member to your group, and two, how are you going to handle those problematic situations? And then finally, any other relevant clauses or schedules that you think are pertinent to your contract. So that's kind of an outline of the obligations or the requirements for your contract. And then we're going to look here at the presentation itself. And you're going to learn how to work within teams. And I think that's really important. It's something that we do in the workplace all the time. We get put on different committees and we have to work together to resolve an issue or improve certain areas of our company or our business. Instructions to complete the assignment. The instructor will designate groups. You've already seen your groups via email. I will include it again in this email. Your groups will become an expert in your particular study skill, and those study skills are the page numbers that I've allocated for your group. And then you're going to present, and you're going to use PowerPoint to present your presentation. Again, we're going to be utilizing Adobe Connect, and in the coming weeks, you'll be getting more information on how to navigate Adobe Connect. Outside videos are permitted, but it cannot exceed more than 2 minutes long. Okay, we don't want a 5-minute video. Earlier I misspoke. Your presentation has to be between 10 to 15 minutes long, not 5 to 10 minutes. So your presentation is 10 to 15 minutes long and requires full team participation. Okay, please let me know if you're having an issue, because this is not a face-to-face class, connecting with any member of your team, and I can give you some useful information that may help you better connect with them or maybe we have to move on without their contributions. So please let me know if you are having any type of issues. Again, your presentation is going to be 10 to 15 minutes long, and you will be docked points if you don't meet that 10-minute threshold. So be sure that you have a lot of information to share in your presentation, make it interesting. You can have a 2-minute video to embed in that PowerPoint presentation as well. All members are required to actively participate, and that means they all need to present at some point during the presentation as well. When you're looking at your PowerPoint presentation, you should have a title page that lists each group member, a brief overview of what the study skill that you're utilizing and why is it important and how can it help you in college. And then you're going to identify at least 3 challenges students face with that study skill. At least 3. And don't just say these are the 3 challenges. Really go into depth explaining those study skills. Try to personalize it by choosing challenges and group members that personally have been faced with those challenges or those strategies. So make it something that has some personal attachment to it. And then a thorough description of 3 Daytona State resources that could assist someone in developing this essential study skill. We have the Academic Support Center. Well, don't just say we have the Academic Support Center. How can you utilize the Academic Support Center to help you improve X, Y, or Z within a study skill? And then an activity for your classmates. And obviously this is going to be a little bit different in an online setting, but you can share that through your presentation, what you would do with your class to help grow that. You will submit a final version of the PowerPoint presentation into the study skills assignment folder. Hopefully this gives you a good jump on what's the expectation for this assignment. Again, I will email those groups out as well as the page numbers that you are responsible for. Please let me know if you have any questions. I've gotten some emails and given some feedback on how to navigate this assignment, but hopefully this helps a little bit, and you'll be getting future emails about Adobe Connect as well, and when we can have those practice sessions coming up here in April. Best of luck with this assignment, and make sure we're getting on top of that toolbox contract that's due here at the beginning of April. Hope you had a great spring break. Look forward to being in touch.